Hey there guys, Saga back with an all new video. Today we're featuring my Shadow Paladins that I got first at my locals with. Starters, we are obviously running our 6k grade 0 full vow. When a road upon draw card, just like every other grade 0. For starters. Now, the triggers I ran, and I'll explain this. I ran, obviously, 4 heal, 6 draw, obviously using the Perfect Guard draw triggers, and 6 crit. Now I'm running 6 draw triggers because their straw power is really nice in this deck, and it just enables us to always be able to survive all these hits that the meta is throwing at us. We don't actually need the crit power, the crits, because our main boy himself, Phantom Blaster Dragon, gains crits and is always our pressure. Going into grade 1s, we have Blaster Dagger. Blaster Dagger's effect reads, once attack or an attack it boosted hits a Vanguard, you may put this unit into your soul. Your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retires it. He's really good for getting that soul, as well as getting that counter. Just getting that soul and getting that retire off. Better early game than late game, obviously, for the on hit. It's really good on hit pressure, and compared to other grade 1s, is really good. Next up, we have 4 Skull Witch Domain. She reads Act, Rear Guard, rest this unit, search your deck for up to one 5k card, call it an open rear guard, shuffle your deck, and you can only use her ability with that name once per turn. So she's the board filter. Like, you start off, call out the rear guard, rest, call, rest. Yeah. I mean, obviously not all in the same turn, but, you know, the early game leading up to grade 3, you'll just already have 4 out, just ready to be retired thanks to Phantom Blaster Dragon. So yeah, she's really good. Then we have 4 Blaster Javelin. He is very essential for this deck. He has auto rear guard when placed. If you have 2 or more grade 1 or less rear guards, you counterblast 1, draw a card, and this unit gets plus 3000 power. Now, he is errata, so it's if you have 2 grade 1 rear guards, but I mean, if you have 2 or more grade 1 rear guards, it doesn't matter. He's included, so if you just have 1 more, then boom, you got it. He's very essential for the draw power of the deck. Last off, we have 4 Black Sage Charon. He is auto rear guard. When placed, you an ability of your card. Soul Blast 1, Countercharge 1, and this unit gets plus 3. So, both these become 11. So, he pairs off with one of our grade 2s very well. He's the main countercharger engine for the deck, as well as he has really impressive stats. Leading off into grade 2s, we have 4 of our avatar. Blaster Dark. He is grade 2, 10k, and he's auto, Vanguard, and Rear Guard. When placed, Counterblast 1, your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retires it. That good, pressure for a second skill, which is Act, Vanguard. Once per turn, if your opponent has no rear guards, discard a card from your hand, this unit gets Drive +1. So, Twin Drive at grade 2 is really nice. It's a good hand filter. And it gives that pressure for triggers really good. I mean, if you sack with triggers, you're pretty golden. Next up, our main, most important grade 2 is our Darkness Maiden Maka. She is Act, Vanguard, and Rear Guard. Once per turn, Counterblast 1, and call a grade 1 or less from your hand to Rear Guard, draw a card, and this unit gets plus 5000 power till the end of the turn. So 15 by yourself, really good, and that draw power is essential for getting all our pieces in place for Phantom Blaster Dragon. Next up, I play 2 Blaster Rapier. This is simply of choice. This enables me to go a bit harder with the rear guard, with the retiring of rear guards. But this could just be replaced with 2 more Cuthbud, which we'll be going into in a minute. She is auto rear guard when it attacks a Vanguard. If you kill 3 or more units with Blaster in their names, this unit gets plus 5,000 power to the end of that battle. And she is auto rear guard when attack hits a Vanguard. Well, when its attack hits a Vanguard, counter plus 1, your opponent chooses one of his or her units and retires it. That should read rear guards. Because you cannot choose your Vanguard, obviously, to retire. Next off, we have Tragic Knight Cuthbad at grade 2, 10k. He has a very important skill of auto rearguard. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, this unit gets plus 3,000 until the end of that battle. For each rearguard, you have more than your opponent. Plus 9,000 if you have 5 and your opponent has 2. So, obviously, really good because it stacks and you can get really big. So, if you have 5 rearguards and your opponent has nothing, he's going up to 15, like by 15k, so he's a 25 attacker by himself. Match that up with a force marker, 35. Numbers get really big with this boy. But it can contradict, considering Phantom Blaster Dragon retires all that, which is also why I play Blaster Rapier, because if you think about it, it's herself, Phantom Blaster Dragon, and then Blaster Dark or Javelin. So you only would need 2 units to get that power up, and then on hit pressure. Ending it off, we have our grade 3s. We play 2, the Dark Dictator. He is continuous. During your turn, this unit gets plus 2 for each of your rear guards. And act Vanguard once per turn. Counterblast 1. Call up to 2 grade 2 or less. Call up to 1 grade 2 or less card from your hand to rear guard circle. That unit gets plus 5,000 power at the end of the turn. And your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retires it. Very okay skill. You know, getting that plus 10k if you have 5 rear guards is really good, and that retire is really good. It's not the best, but it's good for what it does. Next up, we have 2 of Dark Mage Badafkar. His skill is Act, Vanguard, and Rearguard once per turn. Soul Blast 1. Look at the top card of your deck, call it to Rearguard, or put it into the drop zone. If you called it, that unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn, and at the end of that turn, retire that unit. You can get into some pretty luck-sacky plays, considering what I did in tournament, where I didn't have any counterblast to use Phantom Blaster Dragon skill, and I called that, Soul Blast, called that, and I was able to get a counter charge. Obviously, that's not a reliable option, but it happened. Yeah, he's better than Dark Dictator, and I would just take out Dark Dictator completely just to run him. But, the Dark Dictator can get some pretty good numbers by himself, so that's why I play both of them. Now, for the big boy himself, we have Phantom Blaster Dragon. He is the all-star of the deck. He is Act, Vanguard, Counterblast 1, and retire 3 of your rear guards. Your opponent chooses 3 of his or her units and retires them. That should also read rear guards. Thanks, Aradas. This unit gets plus 15k and 1 critical until the end of this turn. His second skill is Act, Vanguard, once per turn. If your opponent has 4 or less cards in his or her damage zone, and has no rear guards, Soul Blast 1, a grade 3, and deal 1 damage to your opponent's Vanguard. He is obviously the finisher of the deck, getting some huge numbers, as well as dealing damage. Although, that skill also isn't that good if you think about it, because your opponent can get damage triggers when it would mess up your entire attack formation. So I normally don't go into it. So like if they're at 4 and you already used your crit skill, they will be put up to 6, unless they miracle heal. But you know, it's Vanguard. Anything can really happen. But it's more reliable not using the Soul Blast, unless they're at 3 and then putting it at 4 is really important. But yeah. Whoop. This has been Sanga, and I am signing out.